August 12th, 2024, a date that will be remembered for its horror and tragedy. What started as a sunny, ordinary day in Eskişehir, Turkey, quickly turned into a nightmare that no one could have anticipated. A young man, 18-year-old Arda Küçükyetim, unleashed a wave of violence that would leave the city in shock. Armed with a knife, he attacked innocent people without warning, causing chaos and fear. He wore an assault vest and a helmet, a chilling sight that made the situation even more terrifying for those around him. In a horrifying twist, he live-streamed his rampage online, broadcasting his violent acts to the world. Küçükyetim's targets were ordinary people going about their daily lives, unaware of the impending danger. He attacked them at a tea house, a public park, and a tram stop, places where people felt safe and secure. 5 people were injured, their ages ranging from 57 to 87, their lives forever changed by this senseless act. The attack was brutal, unprovoked, and terrifying, leaving the community in a state of shock and disbelief. Adding to the horror, Küçükyetim displayed a neo-Nazi symbol, a clear indication of his hateful ideology. This was not just a random act of violence, it was a meticulously planned act of terror. This was an act of terror, fueled by hate, designed to instill fear and division within the community. The attack sent shockwaves through Eskişehir and beyond. How could such a tragedy happen in a peaceful city? What drove this young man to such extremes? The community is left grappling with questions and seeking answers. Arda Küçükyetim was no stranger to trouble. He had a history of conflicts with his family. He was known to be withdrawn and resentful. Some described him as a loner. Despite his troubles, Küçükyetim had no criminal record. This attack seemed to come out of nowhere. However, the online world painted a different picture. Online, Küçükyetim was a different person. He was drawn to extremist content. He expressed admiration for mass murderers like Anders Breivik and Brenton Tarrant. He was radicalized in the dark corners of the internet. Küçükyetim's story is a tragic reminder of the dangers of online radicalization. It shows how hate can fester and grow in the minds of young people, leading them down a dark path. Küçükyetim's journey into extremism started online. He spent hours on forums and chat groups, immersing himself in a world of hate. He found a community that validated his anger and resentment. The internet provided him with an echo chamber. He was constantly exposed to the same hateful ideologies. He began to see the world through the distorted lens of extremism. Küçükyetim's online activity was not a secret. He openly expressed his admiration for far-right terrorists. He shared their manifestos and videos. He even planned his attack online. This case highlights the role of the internet in spreading hate and inciting violence. It's a stark reminder that online spaces can have real-world consequences. Küçükyetim's attack was eerily similar to other far-right terrorist attacks. He was inspired by the actions of Anders Breivik and Brenton Tarrant. These men, driven by white supremacist beliefs, murdered dozens of innocent people. Like his idols, Küçükyetim believed in a twisted ideology. He saw himself as a soldier fighting against a perceived enemy. He believed that violence was the answer. The influence of these terrorists is undeniable. Their actions and manifestos continue to inspire copycat attacks. They have created a blueprint for hate. Küçükyetim's case is a chilling reminder that the threat of far-right terrorism is real and growing. It's a global problem that requires a global response. Section 5, a manifesto of hate. In the aftermath of the attack, investigators uncovered Küçükyetim's manifesto. This 16-page document was a chilling glimpse into the mind of a young man consumed by hate. Küçükyetim's manifesto was filled with hateful rants against immigrants, refugees, and the LGBTQ+ community. He blamed these groups for society's problems. He saw them as a threat to his identity. His words were not just hateful, they were delusional. He believed in conspiracy theories about white genocide and the replacement of European culture. He saw himself as a savior, fighting against a supposed invasion. This manifesto was a blueprint for violence. It outlined Küçükyetim's twisted ideology and his justification for his actions. It was a stark reminder of the danger of unchecked hate. Section 6, the Lone Wolf's Howl. Küçükyetim's attack was a classic example of lone wolf terrorism. He was not part of a large organization. He acted alone, inspired by online propaganda. Lone wolf attacks are notoriously difficult to prevent. These individuals often operate in the shadows. They are radicalized online, making it harder for authorities to detect them. The rise of online extremism has made lone wolf attacks more common. The internet provides a platform for radicalization and recruitment. It allows individuals to connect with like-minded extremists from all over the world. Küçükyetim's case highlights the challenges of combating lone wolf terrorism. It requires a new approach, one that focuses on online radicalization and early intervention. Section 7. Picking up the pieces. The attack in Eskişehir left the community reeling. People were shocked, scared and angry. They wanted answers. How could this happen in their city? The attack also sparked a national conversation about extremism. People were forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that far-right ideology was present in their society. The government promised to take action. They vowed to crack down on hate speech and online radicalization. But many people felt that these measures were long overdue. The healing process will be long and difficult, but it must begin with a commitment to understanding the root causes of extremism and taking concrete steps to prevent it. Section 8. The roots of rage. Understanding why someone like Küçükyetim would commit such a horrific act is crucial. While there is no single answer, several factors likely contributed to his radicalization. Küçükyetim's personal struggles played a role. His family problems, social isolation, and possible mental health issues may have made him vulnerable to extremist ideologies. The internet provided him with an outlet for his anger and resentment. He found a community online that validated his views and encouraged his descent into extremism. The broader social and political climate also played a part. The rise of populism, nationalism, and anti-immigrant sentiment created a fertile ground for far-right ideologies to flourish. Addressing these complex and interconnected factors is essential to preventing future tragedies. Section 9. Stopping the spiral. Preventing tragedies like the Eskişehir attack requires a multifaceted approach involving various sectors of society working in unison. We need to address the root causes of extremism and provide individuals with the support they need. Early intervention is crucial to prevent radicalization. We need to identify individuals at risk of radicalization and provide them with counseling, mental health services, and support groups. Education is key to fostering resilience. We need to teach young people about critical thinking, media literacy, and the dangers of online radicalization. This helps them discern misinformation and extremist propaganda. We need to promote tolerance, empathy, and understanding within our communities to build a more inclusive society. Law enforcement and intelligence agencies need to work together to monitor online spaces, track extremist activity, and disrupt terrorist plots before they materialize. Preventing extremism is not just the responsibility of governments and authorities. It starts at home and within our local communities. It's a collective responsibility that requires the involvement of families, communities, educators, and tech companies. Together, we can create a safer, more connected world. Section 10. A shared responsibility. Combating extremism is not just a job for the authorities. It's a shared responsibility that involves every member of society. We all have a role to play in creating a society that rejects hate and embraces diversity, inclusion, and mutual respect. Families and communities need to be vigilant and proactive in their efforts. We need to be aware of the signs of radicalization and be willing to intervene when necessary, offering support and guidance. We need to create supportive environments where young people feel heard, valued, and understood. Educators have a crucial role to play in teaching critical thinking skills, promoting media literacy, and fostering empathy and understanding among students. Tech companies have a responsibility to create safer online spaces, remove extremist content, and prevent the spread of hate speech, ensuring a positive digital environment. We all have a responsibility to speak out against hate, prejudice, and discrimination, and to stand up for what is right. Silence is not an option. We must act together to build a better, more inclusive world. Section 11. A call for unity. The attack in Eskişehir was a tragedy. It was a stark reminder of the dangers of hate and the devastating consequences of extremism, but it also serves as a call for unity. We must stand together against hate. We must reject the ideologies that divide us. We must build bridges of understanding and compassion. We must create a world where diversity is celebrated, where differences are respected, and where everyone feels safe and valued. This is the only way to prevent future tragedies and build a more peaceful and just society. The fight against extremism is a fight for our shared humanity. It's a fight we must win.